So they've had a real practice of caring for nature and kind of like nurturing wildlife and reaching out to communities with compassionate causes and changing things for their environments. These young people, so they're taking action in so many ways, aren't they? Under your and under your supervision, and I'm sure they're going to miss you. But I bet you've sowed the idea of change with them and their power and their voice, and I think that is something that they'll take with them.
I hope
Certainly.
so. Yeah, I hope so. And some have definitely come up to me at the end of projects and been like, this is what I want to do. And this is, whether that's a social project or an environmental project. And some of them just thought we should have these kinds of lessons every single day. Because for some of them, climate change is just so, they can't fathom why we're doing anything else with this huge looming, threat of climate change. And others just have a bit more perspective, like of, instead of asking their parents for like the biggest, most expensive birthday present ever, they've just got a bit more, the realisation that money doesn't just grow on trees, because they've all had this experience of budget now, and it doesn't go as far as they think or thought it did. So that sort of added knock-on effect as well, just being a bit more savvy with money and just wanting stuff, and especially when we've explored a lot of people in their communities that don't have anything, let alone the latest, Game Boy or whatever. So that's interesting.
So really help them to have experience of living those values that I guess you looked at right at the beginning of the work with them, is like really looking at what they hold to be important and what's valuable and stuff. I think that sounds really like probably quite life-changing in a way. And I definitely know like from my daughter, and she's really young, but she there's no end of the things that she wants in terms of material things. But we've more recently, with the kind of like 30 Days Wild and June, I kind of got myself sorted out in June, and we planted a rainbow trough of flowers outside the front of my house. It had to be rainbow. So it's not unicorns, it has to be rainbow, but I'm down with that. And she absolutely loves like tending the garden with me every day, and she's got her spade, and she's like, oh, Mummy, I need to get my spade out and plant things. And loves getting her hands in the soil, and is absolutely thrilled to see like the sunflowers growing, and as am I, and it's bringing us a lot of joy. And our neighbours pass us by and say, this house is the sunniest house on the street, kind of thing. And that lifts us up so much, to be like a bit of a spot in our community, and the children who walk down our road go to school, and a couple of them I've stopped, I've seen they've stopped, and I've seen them sniffing the flowers and taking a moment. And I think like that's really powerful to see that like, as well as the kind of wildlife stuff with the bees, and we've been talking about how important bees are, that our community love the colour, and that she's really enjoying that, and I'm kind of like distracting her away from all the kind of the wanting of the consumerist stuff, hopefully, with this idea of like she absolutely loves doing this. So it's about putting those different options in front of them, I think, isn't it? And saying like, well, you can do this, and that's your pot, and that's your spade. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and they're so shocked sometimes when they're like, is this mine? Like, oh, am I really allowed to write to Boris Johnson? I'm like, yes, yeah, of course you are. Like, what age were you going to wait for? Like, crack on, do it now. Yeah.
It's important. It's like, and so interesting that you say that they can't fathom why we're not acting more on climate change. And I think that, a lot of people share that view of theirs. They are so right, and they are citizens, and their voice matters.